Time for another edition of Shelton City Council Looking Ahead with City Manager Jeff Niten. And Jeff, your meeting Tuesday looks like it's jam-packed. You have several public hearings and some pretty interesting action items. I want to start with your public hearings. The thing that jumps out at me is Peacock Ridge annexation.
Yeah, so that's been in the works for quite a while. It's the first annexation that the city has done in I don't even know how long. It's been a long time. This was something that was initiated by the property owner, and not to get too deep into the details, but because the property is within our urban growth area or UGA, we are eligible to annex that, and the property owners were interested in becoming part of the city of Shelton, and we're excited to do it. It's a pretty sizable chunk, 370 acres, I believe it is.
Another hearing, shoreline management program update.
Yeah,
kind of a housekeeping thing. Is that what that is?
Yeah, pretty much housekeeping. That, along with the next item, which is the flood prevention. Those are housekeeping items. There's been new language passed by the state. It doesn't really change the requirements too much. It doesn't make them more onerous. It just changes some of the language surrounding what those requirements are. I think an attempt to make it more clear, but we'll see how that works.
On your action agenda, you have several items. One people might think is pretty shocking. It's an agreement to talk about some rates for your water and sewer. Again, you're just trying to keep up with everything, right?
Trying to keep up, but it's not really looking at, it's not about raising the rates at this point. What we're doing is contracting with a company called FCS. And what FCS does is look at rates, and they do this for cities all over the state. Look at rates and make sure that when we're looking at our out years, particularly when it affects infrastructure, which we've been doing a ton of infrastructure work lately to try to make sure that we're ready for the future and that those services work as they're intended. But what that contract is for is so this group can study our rate structure and make sure that it works best for us proactively. So we know what we're looking at 3, 5, 10 years down the road to make sure that we can handle those infrastructure projects that pop up, especially for like the annexation piece
Right.
or other areas, because when development goes in, typically the developers put those infrastructure pieces in. They have to when they're building new homes, but we have to maintain that for 15, 20, 25, throughout the life of the infrastructure and the homes that will be built to use that infrastructure.
Last thing on the list, but not the least, is contract with Olympic Health and Recovery Services. Can you explain that for us?
Yeah, that's been a long time coming. As you know, we had the homelessness task force last year. We presented those recommendations from the task force to the community back in October of last year, and then to our council in November. And one of those was for a designated crisis responder. One of the recommendations from the task force that the council accepted. The designated crisis responder was a priority from the task force, along with a couple of other things. And with the grant through the Association of Washington Cities and State Health Territory, we are able to partner with Olympic Health and Recovery Services to provide that designated crisis responder. And they will be here, hopefully, the day after the meeting, February 8th, and get to work. I think this is going to be really beneficial for the community, and I'm very grateful to the Association of Washington Cities for helping us fund this position, and for Olympic Health and Recovery Services to partner with us to make sure that this asset is in our community and can help.
All right, Jeff. Tuesday night, Shelton City Council meeting in the commission chambers or the courtroom, in person, on Zoom, on the city's YouTube channel. Check it out, participate. You want to hear from them.
Absolutely.